And welcome to HSGameTime Live, Week 9 of the high school football season. I'm Pep Fernandez. A lot of great games in Week 9, some first-place battles. A game between Twitz and Citrus Hill that went all the way down to the wire. A dramatic finish. Scores and stats are still coming in. I have got so many messages and texts on my cell phone. If you've hit me up with a message or text, I apologize. I can't get back to all of you. I just got off the phone with Coach Gregovich from Twitz, and a huge game for the Titans against Citrus Hill, and they nearly pulled it off. Still to come on the show tonight, we're going to have Santiago against Centennial, Norco King, the Smudge Pot, Rev versus Redlands, Carter against San Gorgonio. Got to give some San G love out there. So a lot of great highlights and scores coming your way, and as I mentioned, a lot of stats and texts still coming in. So we're starting a little bit late, but I stayed out at Citrus Hill High School because I had to catch the finish of the Titans and the Hawks as they went all the way down to the very final seconds of the ball game. First place in the Mountain Pass League on the line, and that's where we start the live show. Angel, let's roll those highlights. Citrus Hill taking on Twitz. The Hawks have been the perennial favorite in this league. There's Coach Gregovich. Just got off the phone with him. And there's the Hawks. Now, Twitz scored the first 21 points of the game. Then Citrus Hill came back and scored 17. So it was 21-17, third quarter. Citrus Hill forces the fumble. They recover, and then P.J. Walker goes in for the touchdown as Citrus Hill takes the lead 24-21 in the third quarter. Later in the third, it's my P.J. Walker doing it again, the long touchdown run, and Citrus Hill with 31 unanswered points to lead 31-21. Later in the game, Twitz trying to play some defense and keep this game close and not let the Hawks get away. And how about this one? Trying to go deep, but Citrus Hill repays the favor with another great defensive play, the interception, as the Hawks were flying around. But check out this catch by Michael Stewart from William Keegan, and Stewart goes in for the touchdown. That makes it 31-28 in the fourth quarter. So the Hawks cling to a 3-point lead, trying to run out the clock. P.J. Walker, big run here for Citrus Hill. But later on that drive, Twitz forces the turnover. They recover the fumble. So Twitz gets the back with a minute to play. And what would they do? They would drive down the field. Keegan to Michael Stewart for the big gain. Twitz going all the way down to about the 19-yard line. That sets up about a 38-yard field goal. And it's just wide. No good as Citrus Hill hangs on to beat Twitz by a final score of 31-28. A dramatic finish from the Mountain Pass League as Citrus Hill looks like they're on pace to win another Mountain Pass League championship. Now, we've got a lot more video and highlights from this game, so please check back on the Saturday show, and we'll put all those bonus highlights in there that we could not show tonight on the live show because we were scrambling just to get on the air tonight and get all the video in. So let's go to all the Mountain Pass League scores from tonight and crank up the scoreboard. Hemet over Beaumont, 28-10. Nice win for Coach Reitz and the Bulldogs out there. Also tonight, San Jacinto beating West Valley 56-7, and the game you just saw, 31-28. Citrus Hill edging Twitz in a battle for first place in the Mountain Pass. All right, back here live in the studio. Now we go to the land of the Big Eight as Santiago traveled to Centennial in the Rumble on Rimpaw. Now, could the Sharks knock off the longtime favorite in the Big Eight League? And they were healthy this time. Let's go ahead and roll those highlights. Angel from Centennial High School. There's Blake Barnett back from a concussion and trying to lead his Sharks to a huge win against their rivals just down Rimpaw, Centennial. And Blake just getting his most recent college offer from Colorado, I believe number 4 so far for Blake. And there's Coach Matt Logan. I saw a sign today on Twitter. It says, "Who needs a slogan when you got Logan?" You just win. You wear the shorts and you just win ball games when you play for Matt Logan at Centennial. And having a little bit of glitch here, but we'll try to get some highlights in here for you. Centennial early in this one. And gosh, it's just sticking, isn't it? Robert Weber's going to air this one out. And you know what? Let's just come back here live in the studio. We'll figure this one out in a second. But let's go. In fact, let's just go to Norco King now. We'll show you all the Big 8 League scores in just a moment and work on those Centennial Santiago highlights. But go ahead and just roll those highlights. Norco taking on King. With a win, the Cougars would clinch a playoff spot for the 27th year in a row. Victor Vermontes, the quarterback, taking off a run here. Big gain, sets up a field goal attempt. Bad snap here. The Cougars trying to make something out of that snap. And it's number 3, Alec Burr. Almost in for the touchdown, but King stops him right at the goal line. So Norco comes away empty on that drive. Then later, more King. Jacob Rogers to number 2. That would be McKean Farhoff, the big gain. Then later on that same drive, it's DeWitt Coswell going in for the touchdown, and King takes the lead on Norco 7-0. Still in the first half, more King action. That's number 25, Joanne Washington in for the touchdown, and King leading Norco 14-0. Back come the Cougars. That's Corey Young, and it's good to be Young. 75 yards on the touchdown run. And Young gets the Cougars on the board, but they trailed 14-7 in this game. And more Norco action, trying to get the chain gang moving. It's Veramontes to Matt Williams with the bright yellow shoes. And Norco going for the end zone towards the end of the first half, but Veramontes picked off by David Reynolds in the end zone. King turns Norco away on that drive. This one goes to overtime with Norco edging King. Final score of 34-31. So Norco is headed to the playoffs for the 27th year in a row. Now let's go to those Big 8 League scores from tonight. And the other Big 8 League game, it was Roosevelt and Corona, and the Mustangs pull out the win 35-17. Also from the Big 8, Norco and King, you just saw it, 34-31, another close game. That's 2 close games for King in back-to-back weeks. The Wolves coming up just short against Norco, 34-31. And the Rumble on Rimpaw, Centennial 52 and Santiago 24. And I spoke with head coach Jeff Steinberg from Santiago on Twitter a little bit. Said he was getting advice from a little kid wearing a Yoda outfit. And I told him, win the game you will, from Yoda. But apparently they didn't, but still a great game. Santiago having a great season. Hopefully they'll still make the playoffs. All right, now to the Citrus Belt League, and arguably the top rivalry in all the inland area. Yes, I know a lot of people have got on Twitter and said, no, you've got it. There's another rivalry bigger, North Poly, or how about Norco and Centennial, or Centennial Santiago. There's a lot of great games out there, but Redlands East Valley against Redlands. We did a poll last year on HSGameTime, and it was the overwhelming favorite as the #1 rivalry in all the inland area. It was a battle for first place in the Citrus Belt League tonight. Let's roll those highlights. Angel from Dodge Stadium. Javier Cabrera going up into the crazy Wildcat fans out there. And they had a lot to cheer about because they were leading big time in this one, 17-0. Malik Lovett goes in for a touchdown. That made it 24-0. To the third quarter now, it's Lovett continuing the big running game for Redlands East Valley. They were moving the ball in that Terrier defense, and Lovett is going to catch this ball. No, that's, let's see. Oh, that's Armando Herrera to Zach Douglas for the big game. Then it's Lovett. He's going to cap off that drive with another touchdown. He had a huge game against Redlands. That made it 31-0 Rev on top. Kurt Brewer talking to his guys, hoping to keep that lead intact, maybe even a shutout against Redlands. Later in the third quarter, running back Alonzo Anderson carrying the ball here for the Wildcats. Next up, Lovett. And he score again. Finds Pater, 38-0 Redlands East Valley on top. Still in the third, Lovett. Man, he had a huge game for Redlands East Valley on the ground. And now in the fourth, to cap off the night, Herrera throwing the pass to, you guessed it, Lovett. 45-0 at that point, and I believe the final score is 45-7. Does that sound about right? I think it was 45-7. Redlands East Valley wins the smudge pot against rival Redlands. So Redlands East Valley clinching at least a share of the CBL title for the 5th year in a row. All right, now let's go to the rest of the scores from the Citrus Belt League tonight. Yucaipa over Cajon, 35-14. Eisenhower defeating Miller 40-7, and the game you just saw, the Smudge Pot, Redlands East Valley over Redlands 45-7. All right, back here live in the studio, and now we go to the San Andreas League, where San Gorgonio is off to an undefeated start in 2013. And I was accused of having a Riverside bias, not giving the San Bernardino County schools enough love. I'm giving them love right here. San G definitely already in the top 10 for HSGameTime, our rankings this past week, and they will surely climb this upcoming week after a huge, convincing win against Carter for first place in the San Andreas. Chris Chaddick, I'm talking to you, giving you some San G love. Let's roll those highlights, Angel. San Gorgonio taking on those Lions. And get my trusty shot sheet out here ready. And they asked for me, Hav? Carter wanted to see Pep out there. Man, I should have been there. Maybe I could have helped him out. Carter, second drive. Short fumbles the ball. San G recovers. And here comes quarterback Tahir Rashid Mills. Connects with Nathan Meadors for the big gain for the Spartans. And then Tahir Rashid Mills connects with Taja Muhammad. And San G's Alvin Bibbs. Alvin! Carries the ball in for the easy touchdown, 7-zip, San Gorgonio. Now we move to the second quarter. Alvin tries running the ball through, but he's stopped here of a short gain by that Carter D. And then later in the second next play, Rashid Mills finds the ball, rushes the ball, gets the carry, calls his own number, goes in for the touchdown. That made it 14-zip, San G on top. And San Gorgonio goes on to a big win against Carter. 59-zip, I think, is the final score. So San G still undefeated on the season. And I was on KCAL not too long ago, and I made the bold prediction that they would go undefeated and win CIF with a perfect record. We'll see if that stays intact. So there's your San G love, Chris Chaddick, right there. Let's go to the rest of the San Andreas League scores from tonight. Rialto defeating Pacific 22-8. Arroyo Valley taking on Cardinal City, USA. And San Bernardino wins 28-22. And the last one, the game you just saw, Carter against San Gorgonio, all Spartans, 59-0, the final score. All right, now we head to Chris Erkley, and people are busting my chops for picking Murrieta Valley against Chaparral. They've got good reason to tonight.
Last week, Pep, you had the big shakeup with the Heritage Paloma game, but that wasn't.
It wasn't truly me.
Excuse me, my microphone wasn't on. I didn't even want to hear my own self-talk. Anyway, so I was saying Paloma, Heritage last week, the shakeup, you were getting a lot of heat on that pick. A pick you didn't even make.
I picked Heritage. They put Paloma Valley in the newspaper. I don't know why.
And then this week, a lot of people picking Chaparral, but Pep, he's a maverick. He wanted to go the other way, so he went Murrieta Valley.
Well, we just had Vinny Fazio on the blitz, and he convinced me.
You wanted to brown nose it a little bit.
He convinced me to go with the Nighthawks. So what are you going to do? I still love Chaparral. But anyways.
It was an entertaining game tonight. Usually when I do the double dips, first I went Paloma Valley to Mescal Canyon, and then after that I hit up that Murrieta Valley Chaparral game. Sometimes I get burned on the double dips and miss a lot of the action.
But not tonight, right?
It actually worked out perfectly.
Yes.
It was great. Yes. Let's the second game of the evening we will begin with first will be that Chaparral Murrieta Valley 7-0 the score at halftime. A lot of VIPs out at that Murrieta Valley Chaparral game. We'll roll it up here. Got the sequence up. There's Coach Vinny Fazio, number one. And a guy you used to face off with, Ryan Tukwa, the coach of Chaparral. Then the biggest guy tonight, Frank Bellino, calling his agent on the phone mid-game, discussing next multi-million-dollar contract. Hey, how about a multi-million-dollar throw right here? Austin Riza with the prayer answered by Franklin Shear, kind of teeing it high, letting it fly. But they cannot cash in. The Pumas, Mickey Sarner with the pick for the Nighthawks, showing there no Mickey Mouse operation right there, denying the touchdown for the Pumas. Pumas D back on attack, though. Fawaz Lawal, with a name like that, quarterbacks just fall over on their own. Then Riza back on the drive for the Pumas. Late in the third quarter finds his old pal Franklin Shearer once again with a 25-yard pickup. Then the Janikowski of Temecula. John Barron with the 43-yard field goal, 10-0 early in the fourth. Darren Agwan Just like last week, his favorite instrument, the piccolo, for the pick six. Once again, another pick six I was treated to this week. 17-0, the Chaparral lead. Then his pal, Darren Moulton, getting an interception of his own in the end zone. That would put the game to bed. The Pumas, 17-0, the win over Murrieta Valley. Pep, you know what that means. 3-0, 3-0 showdown, or 4-0, 4-0 showdown, Broncos, Pumas.
You got the Pumas, right?
Next week.
Against Mr. Murrieta. Chris has got
Chaparral. Quality team. Definitely belong in the top 5 rankings of HSGameTime. I think I had them 5th this week, especially after that quality win that they had last week. Another quality win this week. That defense, rock solid. Reminds me of the Baltimore Ravens of 02.
Sure.
You know, minus Ray Lewis getting arrested. Besides that whole fiasco. Anyways, but their offense, if I had to predict, the game is at Chaparral next week, so you never know what's going to happen. Their defense is maybe as good, if not, could even be a smidgen better than Vista Murrieta. Dennis Pope is shaking his head.
Have to roll they did shut out.
They did shut out the Nighthawks. Both defenses are very good, but what I'm trying to say is I don't think they quite have the offensive firepower to hang with Colton Gearhart, Coley Kendall, and the fellows over there in Colton Keith Avenue is where Vista Murrieta High School resides. Or Clinton Keith. Colton Keith.
It's been renamed for Colton Gearhart.
Colton Gearhart, yeah.
All right, Chris, let's take a look at the other scores from the Southwestern League tonight. Let's crank up that HSGameTime scoreboard. Great Oak over Temecula Valley, 42-14. Vista Murrieta took on Murrieta Mesa tonight. The Broncos an easy winner, 43-14. In the game you just saw, Murrieta Valley and Chaparral, 17-zip Pumas in this one. So now we go to the Sun Belt League, and breaking news, got a text. I told you my phone has been blowing up. It's ridiculous. We will have Heritage against Lakeside highlights on the Saturday show, not tonight.
49-zipper, wasn't it?
It was a blowout. You're putting me on the spot, but it's somewhere on
there
here.
It is right there,
so,
49-zip.
There it is on the ticker.
Imagine that.
So we'll have Heritage Lakeside on the Saturday show. But first things first, Paloma Valley and Temescal Canyon.
Paloma Valley, Temescal Canyon. This was my second Temescal Canyon game of the year. Pep, as you remember, last time I saw a Temescal Canyon game, they returned a kickoff for 109 yards, record-breaking type scenario. I think the guy who did it appeared on Channel 4 he was a Rogan's hero, but that's enough talk about Channel 4. We're talking about HS
This is the big time. We don't
talking about HSGameTime out here with Dennis Pope and Javier Cabrera. All right, enough talk about them too as well. Let's roll out to that Paloma Valley Temescal. There they are.
There's the dream team.
Let's roll out to that Paloma Valley Temescal Canyon game. Paloma Valley getting the party started. Brent Bohm to the mystery man. Number 15 looked up his name on Max Preps. He was nowhere to be found. So we call him 15. Maybe it was Vince Carter. I don't know. Vince Carter wore 15. Anyways, Bohm goes to Michael Valencia for the first TD of the evening. 7-0 lead. Then Bebo going like Tebow. On the next drive, head first across the goal line. 14-0 lead. Mid-first quarter, Jacob Hetland with the fancy footwork of his own for Temescal takes out a Paloma coach, Berlin Wall style. He would regain focus, though, after a minute, be a little woozy, maybe the concussion check, back on his feet. Maybe want to ice those feet after the game. Anyways, Temescal would find the end zone on the 30-yard score from Marcus Kirkpatrick, 14-7 score at that point. Then Brett Bohm racking up the mileage. Pep, you know of him for his arm, but how about the feet here?
Yeah, sure.
A 55-yard trot all the way down to the 1-yard line. Then Bohm says, hey, why don't I just take it myself? I did the rest of the work on this drive. 21-7 the lead at that point, but hey, hold the presses. My game was almost ruined, almost, but not quite. 28-21. Paloma Valley hangs on for the W tonight. A big bounce back win after they got throttled by Heritage last week. Yep. Heritage, the kings of the Sun Belt, undoubtedly, but Paloma fighting for the 2 spot. The 1 spot definitely belongs to the Patriots, but the 2 spot appears to be well in hand for Paloma Valley right now.
All right, thanks, Chris. As I mentioned, my cell phone continued to blow up. Someone just hit me up. I won't say his name, but he's talking about the Redlands East Valley Rev Smudgepot game. He's called it a true beatdown. So there you go, instant analysis. All right, now we go to the Inland Valley League. Let's crank up that scoreboard, Ja, and show you what happened tonight. That's the Sun Belt. Let's go to the Inland Valley League. Elsinore against Paris. The Tigers win 49-14. the Rancho Verde. A big winner over Arlington. Whoa, you're a little quick on the gun, Hoff. Hold on, 49-17. Couldn't even read it fast enough. There he is.
Too many Diet Cokes for Javier today.
And one more from the Inland Valley. It would be north in River. Oh no, a couple more. Canyon Springs over Vista del Lago, 39-7. Wait, don't change that yet because, like I said, my phone's been blowing up. I was told Chris Carrillo for Canyon Springs caught a 99-yard touchdown pass, a new school record for Canyon Springs, in that victory against Vista del Lago. And Riverside Poly in North. Do we got that one, Ja? Come on, Ja. There it is. 44-21. The Bears defeat North in a big rivalry game. So we'll have more on that game on the Saturday show because we're expecting highlights of Poly against North. All right, now we're moving on to the River Valley League, and let's just blow through some of these scoreboards. Let's go to the River Valley League now. Moreno Valley and Patriot, essentially a battle for second. Moval defeating the Warriors 28-7. Also from the River Valley, Norte Vista tossing the shutout against Supa Dupa Harupa Valley, 49-0, the final score. And I didn't go to that game, so that's probably why the Braves won so big. And Ramona defeated La Sierra 32-28. So how about a big quality win for the Rams tonight against La Sierra? Let's go straight to the Mountain Valley League. Citrus Valley going up the mountain and defeating Rim of the World, 21-14 in overtime. Huge win for the Blackhawks. Also tonight, Harupa Hills defeating Rubidoux 31-20, so the Spartans remain undefeated in the Mountain Valley League. And Banning doubles up Notre Dame 28-14. Now to the Sunkist League. Kaiser blanks Colton 14-0, so the Cats stay undefeated in the Sunkist. Summit and Grand Terrace, they also get the shutout. The Skyhawks win 34-0 against the Titans. And one more, the game of the night. Can we crank up Javier over here? Go ahead. Live it up, Jav. Tonight's your night. Fontana defeating, oh my gosh, Bloomington. What was the score? 36-14. So there you go. Your time to shine, Jav. All right, let's go. The Centennial highlights were worked out. We're going to get those highlights in just a moment. But first, let's take a quick look at our HSGameTime Top 10 rankings from this past week. And surely they will be changing a little bit as we move into next week. Chaparral, they're holding steady, I would assume, at number 3 after that big win against Murrieta Valley. Norco did win tonight. Murrieta Valley lost. San Gorgonio maybe leapfrogging Murrieta Valley at least to number 9. San G accusing me of San Bernardino County bias, or Riverside County bias over San Bernardino County. No way. Come on. San G. I love San G. They're undefeated. I love the Spartans, so what are you going to do? All right, when we come back, all the scores and highlights from Week 9. But first, every Tuesday and Thursday, I join Stu, Tiffany, and Jimbo on KCAL, and we talk high school football and national sports news. And as we've told you before, Jimbo was a high school football star, and he talked about his big rivalry game, but unfortunately, Jimbo never won his big rivalry game. Go ahead and roll the tape.
Rivalry week is hard to say. I didn't even say it right. Rivalry. How do you say it, Pep?
Rivalry week?
Yeah, what Pep says. You know what? It's an amazing time because playing football is the best time, but doing it during
Rivalry week.
Thank you for that. Is the best. It's so fun, so intense. I'll never forget, like, looking at the football field and seeing the logo of the opposite team on the home turf, and then them coming out and destroying us. We got our whooped on what week?
Rivalry week.
Yeah, that week. We got our handed to us on our home field, and they snuck out the night before and put their logo in the middle of our field, and it was pretty depressing. So I hate
Rivalry week.
Yeah, I can't stand it. Best of luck to you.
All right, welcome back to HSGameTime Live. All the highlights and scores coming your way. Now, we went on the air a little bit late because I stayed late at the Twitz Citrus Hill game. It went all the way down to the wire. I couldn't leave, and had a dramatic finish. So we went on the air a little bit late. We scrambled to get the video highlights from all the games tonight on the air. So if you don't see your game or the highlights tonight, please come back on Saturday and check it out. It was a wild, crazy night here at HSGameTime behind the scenes, but now we're on the air, we're feeling good, and we've got the video highlights. So, Angel, let's take them back out to Citrus Hill High School. Talkwitz scoring 21 points to lead 21. And then Citrus Hill came back and scored 17, so it was 21-17 Titans at the half. So we picked things up in the third quarter, and that Citrus Hill defense forcing a fumble here, and the Hawks recover in great field position, and that would set up this. That's my PJ. P. Walker going in for the touchdown. So that makes it 24-21, Citrus Hill on top. We're watching these highlights all together for the first time. No shot sheets tonight, people. PJ Walker breaking off a long touchdown run later in the third quarter, and that puts the Hawks up 31-21. So 31 unanswered for Citrus Hill. The Talkwitz defense trying to keep this game close and give their offense a chance. A big play there. But Citrus Hill repays the favor with a big defensive play of their own, the interception on that Talkwitz pass. But in the fourth quarter, it's William Keegan to Michael Stewart down the sideline for a touchdown. So that makes it 31-28, just a 3-point game. So Citrus Hill gets the ball, just trying to run out the clock, right? About 3 minutes to go. P.J. Walker, big run there. But later on that same drive, Talkwitz forcing another turnover, and they recover with about 1 minute to play. So the Titans still with life, driving down the field. Keegan to his favorite target, Michael Stewart, and they drove all the way down to the Citrus Hill 19-yard line. That would set up about a 38-yard field goal with just seconds left. It's no good as Citrus Hill hangs on at home, 31-28. Your final score. Dramatic finish. I just got off the phone with Coach Regovich right before we went on the air. Said, try to get some sleep tonight. Have a safe drive home. And he said, yeah, I'll try. I don't know if I'll be sleeping too much tonight. But 31-28, Citrus Hill, a winner. Let's go to those Mountain Pass League scores from tonight. Hemet defeating Beaumont 28-10. San Jacinto was a big winner against West Valley. And the game you just saw, Citrus Hill and Talkwitz, 31-28, your final. Now to the land of the Big Eight. We had a little technical issue with Centennial, but now we worked it out. So let's go straight to those highlights. Centennial taking on Santiago. The rumble on Rimpaw. Come back. You can come back. Oh, you got it? You got it. He got it. I think I got it. I think he's got it. Here we go. The rumble on Rimpaw. There we go. Blake Barnett, the quarterback. I think I saw on Twitter today his fourth offer from the University of Colorado. You don't need a slogan when you got Matt Logan. I saw that picture on Twitter as well today. He's got the shorts on, so you know it's time for football. Little Bobby Weber, Robert Weber, airs this one out to Barry Ware. He'll go in for the touchdown, and you can only expect a shootout when Centennial and Santiago get together. Then it's Blake Barnett, and someone on Twitter wanted me to say, Barnett, show me your touchdowns. Airs this one out. Touchdown strike here as the Sharks were hanging touchdown for touchdown with Centennial early on in this one. Barnett, well, he does more than just throw. He can also run, picks up a couple of yards there, and then later drops back. And he's going to hit his man here. That is Duran, I believe, and he's going to be right there near the goal line. And that sets up a touchdown for Santiago. All right. Oh, that sets up the touchdown, right? I think that was Joey Camarillo. He was also out the last couple weeks. He goes in for the touchdown. But it's difficult to fight fire with fire when you're messing with Centennial because they are loaded on the offensive side of the ball as well as defense. But we know their offense is well documented. And that would lead to a touchdown there for Centennial. And they would go on to a big victory. Speaking of Centennial defense, making a play there. They would go on to a big victory. They win the Rumble on Rimpaw. And I don't have the final score in front of me. Do you have it, Hav? In fact, let's go to the Hav cam, and he can give us the final score on the. Say it louder. 52-24, live from Javier's mouth. You heard it right now. Centennial winning the Rumble on Rimpaw. All right, now to the Big 8 League scores before we get to the Citrus Belt. Kyle Glazer itching to tell you all about the Smudge Pot. So let's get to those Big 8 League scores. Hav, you know what to do. Here we go. Roosevelt 35-17 over Corona. King and Norco 34-31. The Cougars win in overtime. So for the second straight week, another tough loss for King. In Centennial over Santiago 52-24. All right, now to the Smudge Pot game. Kyle Glazer will break it down with his analysis, but first, let's show you those highlights in case you missed it from a little bit earlier in the show. Angel, roll those highlights, please, from Dodge Stadium as these two rivals were battling for first place in the Citrus Belt League. Redlands East Valley against Rev. There we go. All right, Dodge Stadium, and Javier Cabrera worked his way up into the crowd with the crazies, right, Jav? Yeah, they were excited to be on HSGameTime, right? Yeah. Of course they were. There's Malik Lovett going in for the touchdown. That made it 24-0 Wildcats in front. They were having their way with Redlands in this one. Second half now, third quarter. That was Love continuing his big gain. And then quarterback, the freshman Armando Herrera with Zach Douglas as the Wildcats were driving down the field. Here comes Lovett. You gotta love it. Into the end zone for another touchdown, 31-0. Redlands East Valley on top. Kurt Bruick and the guys just really feeling it tonight against their rivals, the Terriers. And Alonzo Anderson carrying the ball here for a small gain. And Javier Cabrera, I should note, had a great shot sheet tonight. Thank you, Jav. Sets up Lovett for another touchdown, 38-zip Wildcats at that point. And Lovett just having a huge day against Redlands. Caps it off here. Herrera, too. You guessed it, Malik Lovett goes in for another score, 45-7 the final. And did Malik almost run you over there at the end? He ran right in front of your camera.
I just got in front of him.
I think he just really wanted to be on HSGameTime, as is Kyle Glazer right now. So the big ticket, KG, your analysis of Redlands East Valley. I got a text. I'm not going to say his name, but he called it a beatdown tonight.
You know, it really was. Redlands East Valley from the get-go got off to a fast start, scored on their first possession, and they were off and running from there. Malik Lovett, 11 carries, 127 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. He's normally a wide receiver.
I didn't know he played running back.
No, he's normally a wide receiver. They were kind of giving the ball a little bit on some on some end arounds, and then they said, well, this is working. Let's just give it to him out of the backfield. He also had about, I think he had 50 receiving yards and the touchdown. Alonzo Anderson, 10 carries, 88 yards and a score, as well as a receiving touchdown. Redlands East Valley really made it. It was no contest out there. I think a lot of people expected the Wildcats to win, but you'd have been hard-pressed to find anyone that would have thought Rev would be up 45-0 in the fourth quarter. The defense, they held the Terriers to 214 total yards, stopped them for no gain or a loss 9 times. Redlands didn't even cross midfield until the fourth quarter, well after the game was over. Redlands East Valley's defense has allowed 13 points in their last 14 quarters of play. The Wildcats really firing on all cylinders tonight. This is what they do. Struggle in league play, do great in league play. Or struggle in league play, I should say.
And do well in the Citrus Belt. So now with the win, they clinch at least a share, right?
Yep, 5th straight year that Redlands East Valley will have at least a share of the Citrus Belt League title. I mean, the CBL's been around for over 100 years. No one's ever done that before. It truly is a historic accomplishment for the Wildcats and Coach Bruick. I think tonight's game, the big reason why it was 45-7, the work on the lines. Redlands East Valley was just way more physical than Redlands was. They really stuffed Redlands running the ball up the middle. They were getting great push on the offensive line. Rev is really asserting themselves in terms of how physical they are, and that's what you want to see late in the season.
Did you talk to Coach Bruick after the game?
I did.
What was his take on it?
You know, Redlands East Valley was very, very, very confident, borderline cocky that they would win this and win this comfortably. You talk to the players and the coaches, they almost like, oh yeah, duh, we were going to win. I mean, they really had never had a doubt, and that's how they played too. You know, Redlands and Rev, you'll see in my lead tomorrow I wrote, they came in with identical overall records, identical league records. You might think, oh, they're even. Within a quarter, it was pretty clear they weren't even, and the folks over Redlands East Valley, they pretty much said it. They said, no, we knew we were the better team. We knew we had more good players, and we did what we were supposed to do. They really were not surprised by the result, I should say.
And how about the atmosphere? Was Dodge Stadium just completely overflowing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they brought in extra seating. being put around the end zones. There was about 8,000 fans there, going crazy. It was pretty even early on, and then as it wore on, obviously the Redlands crowd got kind of silent. The Redlands East Valley crowd was pretty passionate from start to finish. And when the Rev kids held the smudge pot up, taking it back after losing it last year, it was a pretty deafening roar out there on Citrus Avenue.
All right, so Redlands East Valley next week can claim the outright CBL title. Redlands battling for second at this point. Yeah,
I mean, Rev with the win we mentioned clinches that outright. Ike has something to say about that. Ike's going to come in 3-1 in league, and if they beat Rev, they get the share, and then we have a three-way tie, and we see who gets the top seed. Redlands, they need to win.
They finish with Yucaipa, which is a tough game.
Right, and it's really that's for a playoff berth right there. If Yucaipa wins, and I think a couple other things shake out, Thunderbirds get in. If Redlands holds their own, they get in. This is something that Redlands. This was a big setback for them, no doubt about it. They're going to have to lick their wounds and come ready to play on Friday. If they still have any hangover from this, it's going to be ugly.
Well, this was a battle for first place in the Citrus Belt that was not very close. And on that same vein, we go to the San Andreas League, another battle for first place that wasn't very close in the end. So, Angel, let's roll those highlights. Carter against San Gorgonio, first place in the San Andreas on the line. And there's the Carter Lions. And Javier Cabrera said, Carter wanted me out there. They asked for me. I wish I was there. I wish I could have helped. I don't know if I would have helped. I probably would have just made things worse. But early on, Carter with the ball and San G in that defense. They forced the fumble, and the Spartans recover. And then later in the opening quarter, it's Tahir Rashid Mills, the star quarterback, to Nathan Meadors for the big gain. And then Rashid Mills to Taja Muhammad, and that sets up this. Alvin Bibbs carries the ball in for the touchdown, 7-zip, San Gorgonio. Now we move to the second quarter. Alvin tries running here, but he's going to be stopped by Carter on that play. But later in the second, Rashid Mills finds the hole, and he's going to call his own number on this one. 14-zip, San Gorgonio after that touchdown. And there he is. And they go on to the big win, 59-0 against Carter, as San Gorgonio remains undefeated, first place, and all that good stuff, Pope. So, if I could steal a line from Ron Burgundy, don't act like you're not impressed. I mean, that was a nice win, right, against Carter.
Yeah, they really put a show. They really put on a show, for the fans there.
Now, people have been hitting me up on Twitter from San Gorgonio saying, Pep, you got to give us more love because we're having a great season, we're undefeated, but all you do is talk about those Riverside County schools. So, okay, I'll fall on the grenade for this one. We need to talk more about San Gorgonio. They're undefeated. And I actually went on the radio and said they could go perfect the whole season and win CIF. I mean, what do you think?
That would be quite an accomplishment. And to go back to the beginning of the season, I even picked them fourth to finish in the SAL.
Fourth?
I know.
Oh.
Coach Garinger gave me a hard time tonight about it.
Wait, he's still bringing that up?
Yeah, he still brings it up. He's got a long memory. Yeah, right. So, I guess I had it coming, and they really put on a show. Rashid Mills is a fantastic athlete. This guy could thrive in any system, in any team, in any league that we have. He's just a phenomenal athlete. He can make it happen. He caught a flea flicker for a touchdown, 29-yard touchdown pass.
Oh, wow.
He scored 3 different ways tonight. He scored on a 40-yard run. He scored on the 29-yard flea flicker, and then he passed for a 62-yard touchdown in 3 consecutive drives in the second quarter.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, so they blew it open big time. I think they had a 31-0 lead at halftime, and then he scored on a 55-yard run on his first touch of the second half. And then after that, you could see both sides kind of like assert their positions on the field. Carter's guys were kind of slumping and had their heads hanging, and the San G coaches had to keep their guys in line, tell them to not celebrate too much, and stuff. So it could have got out of hand. And Coach Garinger, even after the game, he says, "I love Coach Pierce. They run a great program over there. There's no disrespect here." And it probably could have been 75-0 legitimately, because Carter couldn't do anything. They had 0 yards in the second half. They only had 74 yards rushing yards in the entire game. I think they were like 2 of 4 passing for like 4 yards total. They just dominated completely, Carter was. So.
Well, Carter's really owned this league the last couple of years. They've had a great run. They're moving to the Citrus Belt, but the writing's on the wall. This is San Gorgonio's league now.
That's for sure, and it's going to be hard to have after having this season for Carter to see them move into the CBL and face Rev every year. And what's that going to be like? And if they're
they beat Redlands. That was early in the year when Redlands wasn't playing as well as they are now, but still.
Well, not tonight necessarily for Redlands, but recently for Redlands. I hear what you're saying. I just think Carter, they're young. They have the ability, they have the experience in terms of the coaching staff and Coach Pierce, and they know how to get to the playoffs. They know how to win a playoff game, certainly. It's, eventually going to be, can they get over the hump in the semifinals? So.
All right, Dennis Pope breaking it down, giving everyone what they want. That's that San Gorgonio love.
Yeah, Coach Gerringer, you deserve it, man. You guys played awesome tonight. 4th place, Pope, really? Yeah, I know.
Who did you have winning it?
What an idiot.
Carter, Rialto?
Yeah, Carter.
Carter, Rialto, and then who? Arroyo Valley.
I think I had probably Arroyo. Yeah, it's been a long season already. So many mistakes made.
All right, San G undefeated. You will not get analysis like that anywhere else than the Pope right here. Knuckles, boom.
Blowing it up.
I got to keep my iPhone in my hand because, like I said, I've been blowing up all night. It's ridiculous. People have been texting me and calling me like out of the blue.
Yeah, I get more Twitter followers on Fridays, bar none, than any other day of the week.
It's those scores, man. People are eating up those scores. I just retweet everything.
I heard you had a nasty one tonight.
A nasty one? Oh, yeah. Not everyone on Twitter is as kind as you or I, right?
Not even actually has their real name on Twitter. Is that what you're saying?
It's funny. It's a good day when people follow you with the name LeBron James. And like, oh, that's pretty cool. LeBron James is following me?
Yeah.
So, all right. Thanks, Pope. Let's go to those San Andreas League scores. And Javi, can you remind Chris, he's in next, so you can go get him. Rialto over Pacific, 22-8. That was Pope's second place team in the preseason, I guess, which wasn't a bad pick. They're a good team. Stupid pick. How about Cardinal City, USA? San Bernardino defeating Arroyo Valley, 28-22. And one more from the San Andreas. You just saw the highlights. Pope, you're the man. 59-0 as San Gorgonio remains undefeated on the season, blanking Carter. So San G en route to a perfect regular season. Can they keep it going in the CIF playoffs? They do have to pick up a victory in Week 10 to cap it all off, but they look like the team to beat in the San Andreas for this season, as well as the Eastern Division playoffs, where Citrus Hill is the reigning champ. A Citrus Hill San Gorgonio final. Maybe it could happen. All right, now Chris is back in here with his tour of Southwest Riverside County.
That's what I usually do on Friday nights.
That's it.
I like to hang out there in the Southwest Riverside County. Just did the 20-yard dash in here. I was filling out the pick'em results.
Did I win?
No, definitely not.
No.
But I think you were 13-2.
Was I?
13-2.
I missed Murrieta Valley. I had Murrieta Valley over Chaparral.
You missed one other one, didn't you? I forget what it was.
I don't know.
I don't know. We're going to have to research. But we do know, speaking of Murrieta Valley, Pep, controversial pick as usual. Always getting a lot of heat for your picks.
Coach Fazio, man, he made me a believer. What am I supposed to do?
It was a close game for a long time tonight. I rolled in there at halftime, 7-0 Chaparral lead at halftime. Let's roll out there to the highlights. Speaking of Coach Fazio, there he is talking things over. Opposing off with Coach Ryan Tukwa from Chaparral. Then, of course, Frank the Tank Bellino. I think he had Obama send an Air Force One over to pick him up after the game so he could get the photos in from 40,000 feet. Speaking of letting it fly, how about Austin Reza right there? And his prayers answered on a miracle catch by Franklin Shear. But the Pumas can't cash in. Mickey Sarner showing the Nighthawks are no Mickey Mouse operation with a pick. The Puma defense, though, relentless tonight. Fawaz Lawal, a name like that. Quarterbacks just quiver and fall over on their own. Reza back in action on the Puma offensive attack. Late third quarter, he finds his boy Franklin Shear again for the 25-yard pickup. Then the Janikowski of Temecula, John Barron, 43-yard field goal. 10-0 early fourth quarter lead for the Pumas. Darren Agwan coming up big. More cash money for the Pumas D. Right there, a pick six. 17-0 now the score. The game just about on ice, but the Chaparral Pumas say, hey, how about one more pick just for the fantasy stat line? Darren Moulton this time, putting the game away for good. 17-0. The final score. That sets up the
Game of the
Ali Frazier Battle Royale. Foreman, Ali, Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Tyson Holyfield.
You forgot Buster Douglas.
Buster Douglas, yes. Pacquiao Mayweather, the fight that never happened.
What about your boy
worry.
Tim Bradley?
Tim Bradley Mayweather, that's the one that the people are
go.
looking to come up with this next fight here in about 6 months. Anyways, back. The fight that we know we will see next week is Vista, Murrieta, Chaparral at Chaparral High School. They're going to be shutting it down over there in Temecula. Angel Ortiz, the mayor of Temecula, will be welcoming people from far and wide into the game.
He'll do the ceremonial coin toss.
He will do the coin toss, the first pitch if they had one, you know. His mascot will be Javier Cabrera right there. He'll be wearing his costume, which is the Javier Cabrera costume, scratching his head. He's lost right now.
He's like, I don't know where we're going. Well, Jav,
anyways,
get that scoreboard ready because we're going to keep Chris right here, but let's go to those Southwestern League scores. Great Oak over Temecula Valley, 42-14. Vista Murrieta, as Chris was talking about, they got Chaparral next week. They won 43-14 against Murrieta Mesa. In the game you just saw, Murrieta Valley losing to Chaparral 17-0. So, Chris, earlier in the show, you picked Chaparral over Vista Murrieta, didn't you? Or kind of?
Whoa.
He did. He picked Chaparral.
Whoa. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a grinder. I heard tickets are going on StubHub for $100. Javier's going to buy one for $150. He's so rich. He's always buying those Dodger tickets, Laker tickets.
The Killers.
Chaparral,
Those
the
concert
Killers,
tickets.
his favorite band in the world. Vista Murrieta, Chaparral. It's the Super Bowl of Temecula, Murrieta area. Five Guys Burgers. Hopefully we'll be catering delightful snack out there over by Chaparral High School. Anyways, it's going to be a great game, a grinder. Chaparral and Vista Murrieta defenses possibly the two best in the IE they'll be showing down, but I do think that there's just a little bit too much firepower on the offensive side from the Broncos with the Gearhart and company. If I had to predict a score for next week's game...
Should I write this down? Let me grab my pen.
Oof. I'm going to say Broncos.
Because I think I heard you put out a score earlier in the newsroom. I just want to see if it's the same.
I think I said Broncos 28-7, but you never know what might happen.
28-7. Now I went against Shap tonight. Maybe I should just pick them next week, just because to make amends to the Pumas.
I know
for picking Murrieta Valley.
Jeff Perenni already told me tonight he always goes with the home team, so he'll be going with Chaparral. So you and he won't be.
He and I both picked Murrieta Valley this week.
There you go. You
so
guys have something in common.
I'll have
Worked
to go
out well this week. So.
It really did. All right, now let's go to the.
Anyways, Paloma Valley to Mescal Canyon. Enough talking about the Southwestern League. Let's roll over to the Sun Belt League. Paloma Valley. Hitting the road, they were at home last week against Heritage, got beat up this week, hitting the road, looking to bounce back strong. They would come out firing in the first quarter. First quarter of action was all I really needed because they scored 3 touchdowns, which we're going to see here right now from Angelito Ortiz. Paloma getting the party started with the pass from Brent Bohm to the mystery man, number 15. Pep, they got to get that guy's name in.
That might be R.J. Benz. I don't know.
Well, he didn't have his name on Max Prep, so we weren't sure who it was. Then, boom, to a man with a name, number Michael Valencia, 7-0 lead. Then, Bebo going Tebow, diving headfirst across the goal line, 14-0 lead for Paloma. Now a chance for Temescal Canyon, Jacob Hedlund, using his feet himself. He knocks out the assistant coach for Paloma, Pep. What's his name? Do you know his name?
I don't.
He was taking a breather for a second there, a little shaken up. Maybe the ice packs on the knees after the game tonight. But how about a guy using his feet? Marcus Kirkpatrick, 30-yard score for Temescal. 14-7 the score at that point. But Brent Bohm racking up the running game. He's always going to these passing camps that Pep's talking about. But how about maybe a running back camp for this guy? 55 yards all the way down to the 1. Then finishes the job himself. 21-7 the lead right there at the end of the first quarter. But Temescal Canyon would not lay down easily. 28-21. Paloma hangs on for the W as they are positioning themselves for a second-place finish in the Sun Belt League. Next week, Hemet does have to play Elsinore, which you never know. Elsinore is not a team that goes down easily.
I'm sorry, did you say
Heritage?
Hemet? I wasn't paying attention.
Did I say Hemet?
Did he say Hemet?
Heritage, excuse me. Heritage is playing Elsinore next week. Pep is checking his Twitter feed there.
I'm sorry.
Thought he might have gotten a message from Miley Cyrus or something on there, I think.
Almost. No, actually, I just saw this cool picture. Going back to the smudge bot, it says Redlands, and it has all these crazy fans. Did you see them, Hav? Painted. They're all painted up. It says Redlands. You were in there. You were with those guys. Hav doesn't know. He doesn't know what game he just...
He was getting so many girls' phone numbers he couldn't even concentrate on something like that.
I'm sure that's what happened.
Anyways, the Heritage Elsinore game to finish out the Sun Belt League schedule. Maybe if Elsinore can pull off the upset there, but right now Heritage looks like a team on a mission, I'm going to say. Pat.
They always do in the Sun Belt League. All right, thanks, Chris. Let's go to the Sun Belt League scores real quick before we wrap this thing up. We're going to have a lot of scores we'll run past you. 49-zip, Patriots defeating Lakeside. We will have highlights of this one on the Saturday show. Elsinore taking care of Paris, 49-14. And one more from the Sun Belt. Chris just had it. Paloma Valley edging Temescal Canyon, 28-21. Let's go straight to the Inland Valley. We'll just keep it on the scoreboards. The Rancho Verde, 49-17 over Arlington. And if you have video of this game, send it to me. Video of any of these games, send it to me. It's Jay Fernandez at pe.com. Jay Fernandez. If you got video, please hit me up. We'd love to put it in our Saturday show. Riverside Poly beating rival North 44-21. And Canyon Springs beating Vista Del Lago 39-7. Ja, keep it right there because I was told on Twitter, no, go back it up. Back it up. 39-7 Canyon Springs wins. Chris Carrillo, I am told via Twitter that he set a new school record with a 99-yard touchdown reception. So Chris, congratulations. You did it. 39-7, Canyon Springs a winner, and Carrillo a big part of that. All right, now to the River Valley League. All right, Ja, you can go to the next one. And Moval beating Patriot 28-7. So the Warriors needing to beat Moval for second place. In fact, Patriot had Moval tonight, and they have Norte Vista in Week 10. So they could have technically still won league if they beat both those teams, but Moreno Valley winning 28-7. So Moval still a game back of league leading Norte Vista. And speaking of Norte Vista, they beat Supa Dupa Harupa Valley 49. Now the head coach Ken Batnorf said that his Braves play so much better when I'm not around. So I stayed away and they won big. So it all makes sense. And Ramona, check out the Rams, 32-28. They beat La Sierra. And keep that score up there just for a second because Lorenzo Cabrera, one of the star players for Ramona, a receiver. Is he your brother? He's not your brother, is he? Cousin? Cabrera? I don't know. But Lorenzo hit me up and said, hey, Pep, thank you for discovering me. I discovered him. Did you know that? I discovered Lorenzo Cabrera. He says, Pep, thank you for discovering me. That third touchdown catch I had tonight was for you. That's man love for you, Pep. So, yeah, I guess he caught me a touchdown tonight. So Ramona defeating La Sierra 32-28. But no relation to our own Ja Rule, Javier Cabrera, right? As far as we know. All right, that was the River Valley. Now let's go to the Mountain Valley scores. And we start with Citrus Valley going up to Rim of the World and winning 21-14 in overtime. Big win for the Blackhawks as they go up to the mountain and come away with a W. Harupa Hill still leading the league with a 31-20 victory against Rubidoux. And Banning doubled up Notre Dame 28-14. And one more time to the Sunkist League. Colton and Kaiser, the Cats, remain undefeated in the Sunkist. 14-zip the final there. Summit took on Grand Terrace, another shutout. The Skyhawks win 34-zip against GT. And the game of the night, can we punch up the Javier Cabrera cam? 36-14, Javier Cabrera, the pride of Fontana High School. What are you laughing about? The pride of Faux High. Ja Rule, 36-14. Man, this late at night, I start getting delirious, and I just start laughing. So, but anyways, so let me get, let's see. Here's my schedule. We've got a lot more video still coming in for the Saturday show. So the Saturday show is our big show where we recap everything from week 9 of the high school football season. So we'll add some extra highlights to the games that you just saw, plus we'll add some new games in to the Saturday show. We'll kind of get you ready for the final week of the regular season. If there was a game that you did not see in our show tonight and you would like to send me highlights so we could put it in the Saturday show, we would love to have your school in there. You can email me, jfernandez@pe.com. Email me a couple of video clips from your game because we would love to get you in the show. Unfortunately, we can't be everywhere and shoot every game. In fact, we were shorthanded tonight. But if you have video highlights from your game and you would like to be included to the show, it's an open invitation to all the schools in San Bernardino and Riverside counties. We'd love to have you on the Saturday Scouting Reports. All right, we're looking ahead to Week 10. Join us on the Blitz on Wednesday. We'll preview the final week of the regular season. Big one between Santiago and Norco on Thursday night. That'll be a great one from the Big Eight. So please join us on Wednesday, the Blitz, live from Adrenaline Athletic Training. From everyone here at HS Game Time, one more time on the Ja Rule Cam. Everyone here at HS Game Time. Adam Drexler not here tonight. Chris Erkley, I'm not sure where he went. But we appreciate you watching. Thank you for hanging there with us. We started a little bit late tonight. Like as I said, I was at Citrus Hill and Tockwitz, and the game went down to the wire. I couldn't leave, so I got back late. But I hope you'll join us on Saturday as we'll recap Week 9 of the high school football season. I'm Pep Fernandez, and we will see you again next Friday night.